Masks may be the key to stopping the coronavirus. That's the message of a new study by Mass General Brigham in Boston. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday evening, everyone. I'm Chris Pisano. Researchers found when universal masking was mandated, infection rates dropped. Beth Ward joins us now live from her home. And Beth, I understand doctors at Bay State Medical Center say they too have similar findings.
Yeah, we talked to a doctor at infectious disease at Bay State. We'll have more on that in a moment. But when COVID-19 first broke out, Chris, you remember that there were differing opinions on whether or not to wear a mask or not wear a mask. That happened even at the federal level. So then researchers at Mass General Brigham decided to look at that time when there was some varying results, and at their own hospital when really only staff wore masks and patients, well, it wasn't mandatory. They looked at that time and compared it to when masks became a requirement and found that the results on infection rates were dramatically different. Researchers at Mass General Brigham found when hospital staff and patients both wore masks, COVID-19 infection rates fell significantly from the middle of March to the end of April. Researchers say their findings may seem logical now to many, but hopes it will send a signal to all that wearing a mask in any setting saves lives.
Hopefully this will help convince people that have been skeptical or on the fence about masking and push them over to what many people had already adopted just on the basis of common sense and also on the basis of history.
Bay State Medical Center infectious disease Dr. Armando Baez says while no formal study has been done at Bay State,
well, actually we had a similar experience.
When masks were required for everyone, staff and patients in early April, infection rates, he says, went down.
We have considerably low rate and, across the board, but it's kind of very similar to what they experienced in Boston.
Simply put, he says the data shows wearing a mask reduces infection.
It can significantly reduce the transmission, and it also supported by the fact that it's mainly transmitted through respiratory route. But what this study really shows is that we have a direct evidence. It's a direct evidence as opposed to indirect evidence that support this, particularly among healthcare workers.
The study coming on the heels of a warning from the CDC director that this fall and winter could be one of the most difficult in American public health history if we don't take steps now.
If all of us would put on a face covering now for the next 4 weeks, 6 weeks, I think we could drive this epidemic to the ground in the country.
Well, the study also found that those N95 masks and more surgical masks, that they are more effective than scarves or bandanas. But it also says that homemade masks like these are also pretty darn good and are much more effective and much more advised than wearing nothing at all. Reporting live from home, Beth Ward, Western Mass News.
Beth, thank you for that live report. And here's a quick look at today's numbers of COVID-19 cases in the state. So far, reporting 142 new cases with a total number of 106,128 in the Bay State. There are also 27 more deaths to report today, so the statewide death toll now stands at 8,152. As some families prepare to send their kids back to school in the fall, health officials say it's important to try to talk to your kids about what school might be like during the pandemic. Western Mass News reporter Sarah Granelli joins us now live in Springfield with more on that. Sarah?
Chris, health officials say the most important part is being a welcome to kids' concerns about going back to school. For some heading back into school this fall during the pandemic, it could leave students with anxiety or feeling stressed. Kimberly Lee from the Mental Health Association tells Western Mass News a good first step is simply talking to your kids.
You want to talk with your children with an empathetic ear, really taking their concerns seriously. Remember how demanding academic and social pressure can be even without adding in the additional stress of returning after.
She says it's important to reinforce the positive aspects of returning to the school.
Lockdown or social distancing that we've had, it's very important not to belittle or to dismiss their concerns, not to trivialize them in any way. And keep talking, asking your children, how are they feeling? what are they most looking forward to?
According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, parents are advised to remain calm. Remember that a child reacts to both what you say and how you say it. Reassure children that they are safe and that it is okay to feel upset. They also recommend teaching children about how to reduce the spread of germs.
Parents really take time to educate themselves as much as they can, to be very knowledgeable about what the expectations are for their children upon their return to school. I believe the more parents can themselves be prepared, the more prepared they'll help their children to be.
Now, those were just some of the CDC's recommendations. There's a bunch more on their website. Live in Springfield, I'm Sarah Grunelli for Western Mass News.
Sarah, thank you for that live report. Moving now to Ludlow, where the Hampden County Corrections York Street Industries program has changed their production focus since the coronavirus pandemic first began. Congressman Richard Neal touring the Hampden County Corrections program with Sheriff Nick Kochi. Inmates in the program have been making reusable medical gowns and face masks since March. As the congressman explains, while the facility focuses on producing goods and supplies for government agencies.
But there's another story here about how they use their time. I think 74,000 face masks. 74,000 face masks. The personal protection equipment, much of it went to Bay State Medical Center.
York Street Industries primarily manufactures goods and services for government agencies, schools, municipalities, and hospitals. New at 6, Holyoke Mayor Alex Morse is calling on the Pioneer Valley Transit Authority to further suspend their fares for the remainder of the coronavirus pandemic. The PVTA announced they would resume collection on July 19th. The Holyoke Mayor tells Western Mass News he believes fare collection during the pandemic should be a last resort. Mayor Morse, a PVTA board member, goes on to say that fares make up 14% of the Transit Authority's operational budget, much less now since rides have been reduced by the pandemic. We did reach out to the PVTA for a response. They tell Western Mass News tonight that not collecting fares will significantly impact operations. Neighbor to Neighbor, a community action group protesting on Main Street in Springfield today, demanding Congress pass a new coronavirus relief legislation called a People's Bailout. Organizers tell Western Mass News they're looking for a comprehensive COVID-19 relief package. While the $3 trillion House-approved HEROES Act has been making headlines across the country, Neighbor to Neighbor says it doesn't go far enough for hard-hit communities.
Nearly 43% of Black and Brown communities work in production jobs that couldn't be done remotely, or the service industry. Both of those industries are only back to half capacity. That leaves Black and Brown communities underemployed. We can't talk about a relief package which doesn't acknowledge the disparities determined on race and class.
A People's Bailout has been sponsored by both Senator Elizabeth Warren and Senator Ed Markey. Now at 6, while the Big E may not be coming back this fall, that doesn't mean the fairgrounds will stay empty. The Eastern States Exposition gearing up to start Big E summer weekends at Staunton Village. Western Mass News reporter Leon Purvis joins us now live in studio with those details. Leon.
Chris, every weekend this summer, you'll be able to stop by the Big E Bakery drive-up window, Sam Adams Brew Garden, Staunton Tavern, and the Staunton Village Museum. After the Taste of Big E food preview in June, there's been a big demand for the Big E's cream puffs. Now you can make reservations to purchase some cream puffs, and also the Sam Adams Beer Garden will be doing outdoor dining. They plan to also use some local products.
It'll be a great test run. My expectation is that we'll be open for probably the next 10 weeks. That's what we're hoping for. And like I say, it'll get people back to work and give some things to do for those in the area.
Oh, we're so excited. Everyone can't wait for it to be Friday. We're excited for it to happen. We're excited to have this opportunity because so many of our events got canceled. So this is like the second big thing that's happening for us this year.
Over at Staunton Tavern, there will be outdoor dining along with live music. And before you leave, you can hit up the museum as well.
I'm thrilled. It's been really hard to prepare for business and it not coming. So last weekend was our first weekend that we really kind of had a lot of customers in, inside and out on the patio, and it went really well. So it's refreshing.
This was the way that we could bring children in along with their families in a safe way to have those really great, engaging experiences where they get to do things like go into the blacksmith shop and make a ring out of a nail.
Cassidy adds he is hoping to put on another Taste of Big E drive-through in the coming weeks. Live in studio, Leon Purvis, Western Mass News.
Leon, thank you for that live report. Great information there. And for more coverage on the coronavirus emergency as it continues to develop, you can log on to our free Western Mass News streaming app.
Well, it's a very pretty evening here in Western Mass with temperatures holding right at 80 degrees. We have some good sunshine out there, some scattered cloud cover here in Springfield. Dew points are on the lower side compared to recent days, but it is still feeling a tad humid out there tonight. Wind is out of the southeast at about 7 miles an hour, so that breeze kind of makes you feel a bit more comfortable. Temperatures hovering in the upper 70s to low 80s all across the area with some slightly cooler weather there in the higher elevations. And dew points are pretty much same boat for everybody right now, low 60s. They should rise a little bit later this evening and then drop a bit more as we head into tomorrow. Right now, scattered clouds have really diminished, but we will likely see those patchy clouds return overnight tonight, and we will have again a mix of clouds and sunshine for Thursday. As we look at your evening planner, nice night to have some dining outdoors, maybe do a little grilling. It is going to stay rain free with only a slight chance for a shower as we get closer to midnight tonight, but it is looking like we're going to stay pretty quiet and dry. Overnight, or actually before we get to that, if you want to head out and try to view the comet NEOWISE, you have the chance around 10 p.m. this evening. We had some really good photos from folks last night around 10 p.m. We'll be at about 70 degrees, partly to mostly cloudy. Might be a little difficult, and again, you want to look low on that northwest horizon. If you're out early tomorrow morning, low 60s and patchy clouds to start off the day, and it's going to be a comfortable Thursday. Great day for the outdoors. Temperatures will climb back to the low 80s. We will have plenty of sunshine with some patchy clouds and again, comfortable humidity levels. That changes for Friday and definitely this weekend.